What's going on, brothers? What's going on? It's your dude, Mr. International Passport, here again for yet another Future Classic live stream. First and foremost, a couple announcements. So, Python course is starting this Sunday, where I'll be teaching you brothers Python. Like I mentioned, IT is the best industry or job field to become a passport bro or being a passport bro. I'll be teaching Python. So, the ultimate deadline, right? I have now what's the word for it? Extended the deadline, okay, a bit more because people have been asking me trying to join. I've been very kind, okay. So you have until the end. Actually, you have until 11:59 a.m. Eastern time this Saturday, okay, to join the Python course, okay. Once you miss that spot, you're out, okay. Aside from that, how's my audio? How's my audio BMI? Is it good?
Excellent, man. I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. So, brothers, when you come in the live stream chat today, hit the like button, please. Hit the PayPal, hit the super chats, join the Patreon for intel on Kenyan women and other foreign women. And of course, cop the merch, get a hoodie, book your IT consultations, and keep supporting the channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. So let's get straight into it, okay? So in this live stream, we've got a very special guest here today called Mr. BMI, who is here to break down his time in Kenya. BMI, how you doing today, brother? Are you good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you, brother?
I'm doing fantastic, bro. I want to say
Awesome.
thank you very much for your time. It's much appreciated.
Thank you, sir, for having me.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. So BMI, tell me a bit about yourself. Who are you? Where you from? And anything interesting about you?
Yeah. Well, I am originally from Florida, Miami, Florida. I live in North Carolina. I'm a scholar. I'm a professor. I teach in a university here in North Carolina. Um, I won't go into details of what university I'm at, um, but I've been doing that. I've been teaching for, oh my God, 20 years now, since 2003. And I teach in the area of politics, religion, and history. Yeah. And I've been on YouTube since 2020. Yeah, I started a channel right at the cusp of the 2020 presidential election, September 2020, and I created a channel. It's BMI Reloaded, BMI 3000 Reloaded. That's what it is today. It was under my government name at first, then I changed it. Um, but my YouTube platform is dedicated solely to Black men um, in America and internationally. Um, my channel deals with Black men's issues, empowering Black men socio-economically and politically. It deals with Black men's mental health, their spirituality, Black men achieving the best quality of life that is available to them. BMI stands for Black Men's Independence, and that was one of the acronyms that I use on my platform to kind of articulate exactly what this is all about. We're on this passport stream, and BMI is about Black men, um, living out as sovereign human beings, and Black men making decisions and doing things that solely benefit their interest. So that's what Black men independence is about, man. Being separate
Awesome.
and independent
Awesome,
from
bro.
the gynocracy. Yes, sir.
Awesome, bro. So, brother, now, so Kenya, right? So let me ask this, right? So Kenya, why Kenya? What made you go there in the first place? What drew you to Kenya out of interest, bro?
Yeah, well, my interest in Kenya is kind of tied to kind of broader interest in Africa, and for many years. It is prior to traveling to Kenya. I traveled to Senegal and to Gambia, and those are my first trips to Africa. And but I always wanted to see as much of the continent as possible. And Kenya has always stood out, man, as a country to see and to experience, just based on the history, man. It has a very rich cultural and political history, with the Maasai and the Mau Mau and Kikuyu, and Kenya. They dominate athletics and track and field, long distance running and stuff like that. And Kenya, has a reputation, particularly in Nairobi, as being a highly modernized city, very developed city for the continent, with much infrastructure. And so there was a lot about Kenya, man, that kind of fascinated me. And I tell you what happened. So I was in Senegal back in 2022 when I was there for a conference, an academic conference, and I met with a brother there who was from Kenya. Is a brother who lives between Kenya and the States, and he and I hit it off, man, and we just started talking and everything. And I expressed to him that I wanted to see Kenya and Nairobi in particular, and he just invited me to come. And so he just let me know whenever you wanted to come over, man. Just let me know, and I'll host you. And so I set a date, and we made it happen, man. And so I made my first trip to Nairobi in June of 2023, and I spent my first trip was there. I've done 3 trips overall. My first trip lasted for a little over a month, so I was there from all of June to the latter part of July, and then that kind of kicked it off, man. And it was one of the best experiences, travel experiences, life experiences that I've had, you know. And so it was so good, man, that I made plans for another trip as soon as I could get out of the States. And so I went there for Christmas and New Year's, December 2023, going into January 2024, man. So I was there again for over a month, man, and in Nairobi, and it was, better than my first round, and then I made a third trip that following summer, man, just this past summer 2024, and I stayed there 2.5 months, man. So I was there June, July, and to have part of halfway through August. Yeah, and while I was there, so I was in Nairobi. I went to Mombasa, and I also went to Kisumu. Um, yeah, and it was. Let me just back up a little bit. Yeah, so during my first trip, yeah, not only was I in Nairobi, but I took a trip over to Uganda, go Kampala, Uganda, while I was there, and spent several days there and hooked up with O'Shea Duke Jackson. But yeah, man, those have been up to this point my core experience with Kenya, man. And I tell you, man, my Kenyan experience, it tops the other experiences I've had. Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. I've been there 2 times. I've been to Senegal 3 times, Gambia 2 times, with Dakar, Senegal, that is. And I have to say, yeah, Kenya up to this point has topped it. It's a place for Black men.
Interesting. So what is it about Kenya that you keep going back there? What is Kenya doing to you that America isn't doing for you that draws you to that country, brother?
What number one, man? It's an all black world, brother. You know,
Mm,
and I love the fact that you know I can travel. You know, this is true about African countries in general, but we're talking about Kenya, man. But um, I blend right in, man. You know what I mean? And the thing about it was it's just so beautiful. You know, coming from a country where you're not a part of the majority, and I know you can understand that. Um, you know, white people dominate, the United States and everything like that. And black people are 13%, black Americans in particular, 13% of the population, but you go to a country like Kenya and all you see are black people. So I put it like this, man. So, most of the white people that I saw traveling to Kenya were white people that I saw on the plane,
mm,
traveling to Nairobi. Yeah, the bulk of them, they were on the plane, they were at immigration, along with Chinese people and everything. But once I got into the airport, and once I got, left the airport and got into the city and everything, I didn't see any white people, you know. And obviously, I mean, they're there, you know what I mean? But I tell you, during my first trip in Nairobi, I saw no white people. I tell you what happened. I went to the central business district my second day there, and that's where everything goes down, and it's just in the heart of the city of Nairobi, man, hustle and bustle and just people and just energy, and it kind of took me back, man. It took me back to when I was much younger, um, growing up in certain parts of Black America, um, where you can walk outside, in neighborhoods or whatever, and people are outside doing their thing, socializing or what have you, and you go to certain places, certain markets, and you just see nothing but people who look like you. And yeah, it took me back, man. A country like Kenya and city like Nairobi, what you experience from the standpoint of an American is what we were 20 years ago, 25 years ago, in terms of the social aspect and being able to see people and everything. Right now, just from my standpoint, people are isolated. You know, people don't go out that much, and when they do go out, there's no real socializing and what have you. There aren't places where you can go and just mingle in big crowds and feel energy and feel um, just a dynamic, vibrant atmosphere. You can walk up to people and talk to them. People are friendly. That's another thing. Hospitality. People are friendly. There's not a lot of anger and angst, and you know, it, it that's what blew me away. The other thing was is that Kenyans have a strong um, affinity towards Black American culture, man. So, Kenyans, they love Black American music, they love Black American entertainment, popular culture, and what have you. Their radio stations, you turn the radio stations on and what have you, man. The DJs, the radio personalities have a style that's kind of similar to, classic Black radio here in the United States, man. So you're walking into, from my standpoint, man, it's like a Black man's paradise, man. You know what I mean?
mm.
And I'm not a stranger. I feel at home. It's just a very welcoming atmosphere.
Amazing, amazing breakdown. So now you've been there multiple times. Are you now applying season Kenya in terms of business opportunities, in terms of like maybe real estate, making
Yeah,
money there? What are you doing there, brother? Because since it's going well, so well for you.
I would say right now, I have a very long-term plan, and so the the interest that I have are primarily real estate, you know, land and um, um, land ownership as well as development, and so that's something that I'm slowly um, integrating myself into. You know what I mean? And so it takes time. You know, at least I'm taking my time rather in terms of studying the ins and outs of the business environment there. You know, and it's a good thing that I do have friends there that help, you know, navigating that, man. But yeah, you know, right now, you know, it's, you know, yeah, my plans are kind of is long term. I have long term plans, man, and it really it involves property. You know what I mean? I would like to retire. You know, there. You know what I mean? Somewhere, if not Nairobi, um, some other part. You know, maybe Kisumu. You know, there Nairobi is not the only site, you know, to take in. You know, there's Mombasa. Mombasa is cool and everything like that, but there's a lot of room for a lot of entrepreneurial endeavors in Kenya, man. So this is a good time in history for Black men all over the world to look at East Africa. You know, if you want to make long term plans and you want to resettle somewhere.
Amazing, brother. Amazing. So now tell me what Kenya is doing for you as a black man that Black America isn't, right? Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, so when you compare Kenya to America, would you say that Kenya is just doing it for you by far? So what is America not doing for you, brother? That's making you go to Kenya.
I put it to you like this.
Mm.
My last trip, as I said, I was there for 2.5 months. My last time that I was there, and I had a very, very difficult time leaving towards the end, and I did not want to go. Okay, it was very difficult. I had to because I got, you know, I have work, I have my profession here, and so you know, you know, you just can't do things um, the way you want to all the time. Here's the thing, man. Mental health, man. Mental health, man. Um, I feel less stress. Um, the rat race, the push and pull of the rat race. You know, the thing about America, man, is that, you know, everything is about hustle and bustle and stuff like that. And you see what's going on now, man. Everybody is on edge because of our new administration, you know, and no one knows exactly what's going to happen within the next 6 months, next year, you know, next 4 years. You know what I mean? And um, yeah, that creates a lot of additional stress to just what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. You know what I mean? And the thing about it, man, like I said, man, the culture is still a very social. It's a social culture. You know, they still, although Nairobi, you know, is very modern and liberal, and you know, it has its, you know, has the impact of Western ideas on it. You know what I mean? Um, the traditional cultures, you know, and you know, the values are still, you know, they're still alive. They're still there. You know what I mean? People still believe, they still embrace, you know, face to face human interaction and all that kind of stuff, man. And it's a place for me. I'll just put it like this, man. Yeah, you can just um not be pressured with the the pressures that come with living in America, man. You know what I mean? And so whether I'm hanging, you know, at my friend's compound, or if I got me an Airbnb, or if I go to the beach, or, you know, chilling with you know, a lady friend or what have you, man, it's just very chill, man. It's a very chill atmosphere. You know, Kenyans, they love to party. Kenyans love to drink. Kenyans, um, they know how to balance um, just regular life with, you know, trying to survive with work and everything like that. And I'm gonna say this, man. I don't want to romanticize Kenya and, you know, and make it seem like it's just this perfect paradise or anything like that. Um, but I would just say for a black man's mental health, you need to consider, you know, East Africa, you know, in particular, and African, you know, country in general. Um, it'll help you get your mind right, you know. Um, we have we are we have so many toxins in the West that um, are in us that we're not aware of. You know what I mean? And it's good to be able to step outside of that and get some relief, man. So yeah, that's the pull right there, man. I did not want to leave, you know, and it was it's addicting. That's why I kept going back. I told you, I went one time and I loved it so much, and I was like, man, I've got to go back because the way I travel, man, with countries, um, I tend to give countries like a 2 trip limit. You know what I mean, in terms of whether I like it or whether I want to come back and the like. You know what I mean, and like if I tell you, like my first time to Rio, I went to Rio with some brothers back in 2021 for the first time, and it was a group, and I had a great time, and I wanted to see if Rio, you know, was a place that I would return to, you know what I mean, over and over again, you know, and so I followed up with a solo trip to Rio, you know, when I stayed there for like 10 days and what have you, and it was a good trip. It was a great trip, you know what I mean. But after that trip, you know, I was, um, you know, still kind of looking and everything like that. I wasn't, you know, Rio's a great place, Brazil, and you know, there's so many other places in Brazil, Sao Paulo, Salvador, Bahia, so on and so forth. But I wasn't like compelled to return, you know, soon, you know. But my experience with Nairobi was different, man. After the first trip, man, I was kind of hooked, and then the second trip just created kind of an addiction. You know what I'm saying? And then the third trip, it kind of it sealed the deal. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I can do this. Um, I can do this for an extended period of time. You know, so that's kind of, you know, my how my attachment is, you know, to Kenya.
Amazing, amazing. So, Baba, let me ask this right. So, Kenya has a lot of Chinese, white people, Indians there.
Yeah.
Did you feel like, so in terms of the power structure there, who's really in power? Is it Black Kenyans or is it non-Black Kenyans? But keep it real with me.
Yeah, non-black Kenyans,
Oh
and
man.
it's you know, the Chinese, you know, they're all over Africa, as you know. You know, they're doing a lot and everything, and but when I was there, you know, it was clear to me that the South Asians or the Indians, you know, they have a significant part of the, you know, of the economy, you know, and then you've got you know, the white settlers. Um, you know, and let me say this. Let me just kind of qualify all of this by saying that Kenyan people, you know, they're not like, I wouldn't say they're completely dominated. You know what I mean? By other groups or what have you, um, because they have a significant, you know, business sector and everything, um, which is there. But you know, I mean, the South Asian presence is real, you know, and the Chinese presence uh, is real, and then there are the whites in the background and everything, you know, the Europeans and the Germans and the Brits and, you know, other interests or what have you. You know, then there are American interests that are there, you know. And I would just say that, yeah, some of these other groups, they do stand out in terms of the status that they have. Anything about, you know, South Asians, they've been there for quite some time, man. You know, um, You know, they've been there for, you know, a number of generations, and I mean, they have their own little world going on. I'd put it like that, man. You know, there are parts of, I know in Nairobi, man, parts of Nairobi that are very segregated, you know, and they have their own zones where black people are not welcomed. I'll put it like that.
Oh, come on, bruv. How can you come on, man? How can you not be welcome in your own? That's kind of, I'm finding that hard to register in my brain, brother. You're telling me that in Nairobi, there's some parts that black people are not welcome there in their own country. How does that even
Yeah,
work, bro? What does that mean?
yeah.
Do these
I
Indians
mean,
have guns that scare them away? What's going on?
I mean, they're neighborhoods, you know, and South Asians tend to be very self-contained, you know, and they police who's in and out. But I did see that there are like residential areas that are dominated primarily by South Asians, and there are no, you don't, at least from what I saw, and I tell you like this, man. I was staying at the Airbnb one weekend, and and unbeknownst to me, the apartment where I was living was located right next door to I guess you would call it a country club, you know, and this exclusive kind of country club was kind of ran by South Asians. So I did not know this. So I called myself going for a walk early in the morning, and I saw a trail, um, you know, over there where the club, was located, and I went to go walk on this trail, and one of the security guards, Kenyan security guards from one of the buildings, he kind of stopped me and he told me, he said, "Listen, you can't go in there." And I said, "What?" I said, "No, man, you can't go in there. Um, you know, this is private property. This is exclusive." I mean, I understood the private property part, but what I did was I just looked and I watched and observed, and it was just nothing but South Asians there, and they were out walking and on the field and doing their thing and what have you, and I'm like, wow, this is exclusive, you know, and it just signaled to me um, that they have they have a kind of self-contained thing going on there, and yeah, and there are neighborhoods that they have, which they don't rent or sell property to Kenyan people. You know what I mean? And and they're, as a group, they they are enshrined in the Constitution. They are they're treated as a um, almost like a tribal group in Kenya. And so and they own a lot. They own a lot. You know, and so um, yeah, it's kind of like you know I don't know how familiar you are with the history of Uganda. And the South Asians, um, were in Uganda during the time of their independence, when they became independent and everything. And Idi Amin had came to power, and the South Asians, pretty much dominated the economy in Uganda, you know, and they Idi Amin invited them to become citizens, full-blown tax-paying citizens, and most of them, they as a group, they rejected becoming citizens, and what he did was kick them out, you know, and a lot of the South Asians left Uganda for Nairobi and in other parts of Kenya, you know, and so their legacy is there, man, you know. But I'll just say this, man. The Kenyans are just a very welcoming people, man, and Uh, if you got money, they'll welcome you. I put it like that. You contribute to the economy and everything like that. Um, you can have a piece of the pie. Yeah.
Wow, flipping heck. So, brother, despite them unfortunately dominating, and actually, so brother, this security guard, right, who said you can't go in, was he black or Indian?
He was black. Yeah, this is a
Flipping
Kenyan man.
heck.
This was a Kenyan man. Yeah, and he was like, "You can't go in there. You can't go there." In this, it was like I said, it was a big property, man, and they had tennis courts. They had a track and everything, and there were no, yeah, it just, I mean, it was easily to access. Okay, and so it wasn't like surrounded by walls and a bunch of fences and stuff like that. But I was told that I could not go there and walk on the track. Okay, and I said the Indians. He told me the Indians. this belongs to the Indians. You can't go there. So uh, it was a Sunday morning too. I remember that vividly.
That's wild. That's
Yeah,
wild, bro.
yeah.
So, but so knowing the amount of power they unfortunately have, are black Kenyans can black people still make way in Kenya? Because if these people are gatekeeping, because we know how Indians gatekeep,
Mm,
right, with their stuff, right, and no one, thankfully, there's more eyes on them in the West, but
yeah.
there needs to be action on what they're doing because what they're doing is literally discriminatory. If you want to
Oh yeah,
gatekeep, go to your country, go to
yeah.
your country, go and do it in your country. And I don't care how
Absolutely.
that sounds. Go to your country and your culture and do your gatekeeping nonsense in your country, right? Because at this point, I think in the West, we become too tolerant and too soft. And when that
Yes,
happens, people take liberty and advantage of you, right?
yes.
And that's why I don't have a problem with, in many cases, right, with Americans pushing back.
Yep,
America for the
yep,
Americans. So
yep,
if you want to play your gatekeeping tribalism nonsense, go
yeah,
to your country and do it. It doesn't matter if you're Indian, if you're African, if you're Chinese, right? If you're Asian, go to your country and do it because I'm sick of it. So,
yeah,
but let me ask this, right? So
yeah,
in Kenya, right, can
yeah.
black people still make headway knowing that Indians gatekeep a lot of the stuff there?
Yeah, I think they can. The key to that, William Ruto, they have the president there. The key to that is the leadership. The key to that is um, creating a system. And I've said this to other guys. I remember I was on. I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Thunder, and and he has a Sunday show. Um, Sometimes where we deal with politics and everything like that. And there's a Nigerian brother um, named Ike Ogajiman, and we were having this talk about the differences between Nigeria and Western societies and why Nigeria has such a problem with corruption. You know, and I will say this in relationship to Kenya, man. I'm like, you have to have a system of checks and balances. Um, a very, very efficient system. You know, I think that Kenya does better than a lot of places because they there is a business environment there, a professional business environment that's legit. Okay, that does things based on integrity, trust, mutuality, that sort of thing. But you still have a culture of bribery. You still have a culture where people are taking shortcuts, stuff like that. And so, in order for the black people, at least just from my observations and everything like that, and it goes up to the top, man. You know what I mean? With the leadership and the president, all the way on down, to the parliament and all of that. Um, you have to have a system of checks and balances. and you have to have trust. So black people, and I would say this, man. I mean, Kenya. I mean, I've met phenomenal business people there. Um, there's a lot that's going on in Nairobi. They've got a very solid upper middle class there. Um, Now in juxtaposition to that, they have, there's a lot of poverty and a lot of struggle that's there. You know what I mean? And you've got a real hustle culture. Um, but the point I'm trying to make, man, is that black people can create, all sorts of enterprises and do a lot in business if we learn to trust each other in business, if we have a system of checks and balances. That's the thing about America, man. And you mentioned, the thing, about these other groups coming in and the tribalism and all that, and what is happening now in Western countries is that the system of checks and balances is kicking in right now, right? Because, you know, um, we went too far with the liberalism, went too far
Mm.
with a lot of the pluralism, you know what I mean? And with immigration and all that kind of stuff. And so um, now there's a reaction to it. Now it has to be regulated. It has to be placed under control. And you can only do that if you already have an established system that puts a check, on behavior, on power, on all sorts of things. You know what I mean? And the way the politicians in our country go at it back and forth and everything, and the law, how it is used, um, though imperfect, it does prevent a lot of hardcore corruption. I'll put it like that. In as much as the Western societies and countries have done a lot of bad things in the world, and many of us have been victims to it. Um, we have these constitutions. We have legal processes, okay, that are based on, yeah, the balance of power, and that you can't have unregulated, unchecked stuff in your society. If you have unregulated, unchecked stuff in your society, it will destroy your society. So that's the pushback that we're getting all over the world. You know, um, yeah, because again, and we have this. I don't know if you've been paying attention here. There's an Indian guy. Speaking of Indians, in America, Vivek Ramaswamy. Um, he's a multi-millionaire, I guess almost a billionaire or whatever, and he ran for the presidency, and he got real close to Trump, and everything. And as he's gotten more prominent, he's uh he's taken his Indian mask off. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And he said some things about American society, um, that has have cost him. I put it like that. And it's like we let a person in. He's a first generation Indian, born and raised in America, um, and he gets close to power. And he began. He started talking about America's. You, so you do IT, right? So we have issue with stuff in Silicon Valley and workers and all that kind of stuff. And we have a lot of Indians in Silicon Valley. And they get visas. So what American corporations have done is they get cheap workers from Bombay and New Delhi, and they give them these visas, and they bring them to the U.S. and they're cheap labor, and and what happens is that American workers are kind of kicked to the side. You know what I mean? And what will happen is that you have the tech bros, Elon Musk types and what have you, and the the CEO of Google, who is an Indian. you know, um, they will say that you don't have enough skilled people in America to fill the jobs that we have. You know what I mean? But what happens is that the Indians will dominate all the tech jobs. You know what I mean? They dominate all the IT jobs, and you put them in a position to be managers in IT and to hire people in IT. Guess what they hire?
Their own people.
They hire their own people. Yeah, it's so it's become a major political issue now. You know, so
Good.
that's what I mean by checks
Uh,
and balances. Yeah,
I'm happy. I'm happy that Americans are speaking up, and calling it out and can continue to speak on it. That's why I kind of I used to be a super liberal, but I started seeing just how when you're too liberal, right?
yeah,
People take vanity, and if you're too kind, or you don't want to you don't want to bring things up because it might be seen as some certain type of way.
yeah,
No, it's no more, no more. So now that it's affecting white people,
yeah,
now they're speaking up, right?
yeah,
So I don't know. I'm kind of upset it took that long for them to see it, but at least
yeah.
it's out there in the open. So now that Brad, Sarah, Tom, Brady,
Mm-hmm. Yep,
uh, Savannah are being affected, okay,
yep.
now things hopefully will change. With these Indians movement, because I'm getting really really mad with how they move, man. Honestly. So
Oh,
so
yeah,
brother, like woman rise
yeah,
and
yeah.
so, brother, okay, brother, tell me things you don't like about Kenya. Obviously, aside from the Indian issue there, tell me
What
things
I
about, yeah, don't like about Kenya.
what I don't like about Kenya. Let me see. What is it that
Mm.
that is a very, 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 very good question. Um, and it would like I said, man. There's the checks and balances, the gouging. I put it like this. You know, as you know, if you travel to certain places, it happens in Kenya too, man. You've got um, unregulated markets, and you have price gouging. You know, and here's the thing. So if you're an American and you're there, you get the you get the American treatment. So being an American, and I would even include, if you're from any Western country and you have a passport from a Western country, um, um, and it's clear that you're a foreigner. Okay, so you have the foreigner, although you're black and you look like them. Being a foreigner is a gift and a curse. Okay, being a foreigner, it can afford you a certain type of privileges or what have you. Um, but at the same time, it opens up an opportunity for people to try to exploit you and take advantage of you. You know what I mean? And so when it comes down to money, it comes down to dealing with markets, and you're trying to buy things, or you're um, engaging in any type of exchange. You know, um, price gouging, is real. You know what I mean? People want to pay you, not pay you. They want to charge you double the price that they would charge native people. You know what I mean? If you're dealing with unregulated markets, you know what I mean? And even sometimes the Uber drivers, when you're just, Uber, you would think, because of it's relatively regulated, that you wouldn't have price gouging, but you have that there. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of one of the annoyances um, that you can have. And so you have to keep your eyes open for scams, that sort of thing. You know, and so that's the big annoyance that I have, man. You know what I mean? And I believe in, my thing is, man, I'm a business oriented type of person, you know, and I really believe, and this is not just specific to Kenya, but even just African countries. One of the problems, price gouging is a problem in African countries, you know, and
Mm. What,
yeah,
what do you mean? Is that what, do they price gouge for foreigners only or for everyone? So you're saying something that should cost like $2 because
yeah,
you're American, they charge you $10. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, it's mainly a thing that's targeted at foreigners, because the perception is that you're a millionaire or something, and you're walking around with all this money and everything, and that you can afford it. You know what I mean? And so if you're going into, let's say you go to some of the areas, you go to Mombasa, you go to the coast, you're going to encounter a lot of people who, they want to sell you something, sell you a massage, sell you boat rides, in the ocean. They want to sell all sorts of things. You know what I mean? All kind of services. Um, yeah, and so you have to be aware that um, people are targeting you because the perception is that you have money, and that they can overcharge you for goods and services and all of that. Um, and it happens. It happens, like I say, I've seen it. I saw it in Gambia, in Senegal. You talk to people who travel. I mean, we're talking about Africa in particular, man, who travel through African countries. It's just a common thing. And the problem is that that's a part of the economic problem that the countries have. Okay, and let me just say this to put everything in context. These are people who are living hand to mouth. Okay, these are people who, they're making, it's like in US dollars, you know $5, $10 a day. Okay, um, which is not a lot of money. Okay, and so they're trying to survive, the best way that they can. You know what I mean? But it's tied to, from an economic perspective, it's tied to the larger economy. You understand? Because you have to have business, and it's never a perfect thing, man. You have to have trust in business. I've told, I remember it happened to me when I was in Uganda. Because people think that you don't know the game. You know what I mean? And I got a cab, and when I was in Kampala, going from where I was living to one of them local malls and what have you, it was my first time getting a cab, and the cab driver um, knew it was my first time in Kampala, Uganda, what have you, and he deliberately kind of overcharged me. You know what I mean? And I knew he did. You know, and I told him, I said, I told him clearly, and here's the thing, I didn't trip. I paid him what he wanted, right? And it didn't hurt me too much. But I told him, I said, you could have had more business from me. You know what I'm saying? You could have been my personal driver. You know what I mean? Um, we could have exchanged information, and you could have, during my whole time here in Uganda, made some money. But because you thought that I wasn't hip to the game, you did what you did. You know what I mean? And so that's the kind of thing that, like I say, is an annoyance. You know, and you see it it shows up. It even shows up in some of in the women that you deal with. You know what I mean? So it shows up in all kinds of ways.
Okay, awesome, brother, awesome. So, brother, what about Kenyan women, right? I'm sure that's important to you, brother, or
Yeah.
or maybe you're taken by a Black American chick or a white American woman. Uh, if not, tell me about Kenyan women, brother. Do you feel like you can find your wife there, their wifey? When you compare Kenyan women to American women, who's better? Let's start from there.
Kenyan women by far. Okay, Kenyan women by far are much better option. Can you find a wife there? Yeah, you can find a wife there. Yeah. Um, uh, Here's the thing, and I know I know this is not your first stream on Kenya, and I know you're aware of some of the stuff that the backlash that some of the brothers in Kenya have gotten. Guys are making videos and stuff under the Passport Bro umbrella. Um, but let me just say this, man. Kenyan women are very welcoming, and they're not abrasive. Um, they're and that's the thing. What makes you want to come back, especially when you think about the women, they're approachable. I'm talking about approachable people. Okay, they respect kindness. They respect gentle manness. Okay, so like in the U.S., I was raised to be a gentleman. My mom raised me by herself, and there was a time. I'm kind of an older guy, man. I'm 51 years old. Um, there was a time I remember where it was kind of cool to be a gentleman. Okay, and in terms of courtesies and all that, um, but that time has passed, man, because it is not welcomed, it is not respected, and what have you, because you have a very abrasive, belligerent personalities here, and just Western personalities, and feminism has just, made a lot of people, a lot of women insufferable, Um, they look good, but the attitudes, the dispositions have much to be desired, But I would say this, man, just in general, man, it's different. They're approachable. They're not aggressive. Not trying to fight you and stuff like that. Now, I was having said this, um, you have you have your hot girls, you have your city girls, you have the hustlers. You know, um, you have women who have a more aggressive kind of vibe and orientation. You know, and a lot of times those are the ones who are really into the, I guess you could call it, so they're in the streets, and they are, you know, really deep into money and stuff like that. You know what I mean? The 304s, they got the Kenyan 304s, hardcore Kenyan 304s. Okay, they there,
Hmm.
um, but they don't represent the, most of the women, that are there. Here's the thing, man. You can go. Let me tell you something, man. You don't need any dating apps. You can use a dating app if you want to. You know what I mean? If you want to use Tinder, I mean that's fine. And I'm gonna tell you, Tinder in Africa, um, or the dating apps in Africa, totally different from what you experience in the United States. Okay, because the women, they do the choosing. They choose you. Um, but here's the thing: you don't need to rely on dating apps. Man, you can go downtown, you can go in the Westlands, you can go to the malls, you can go, in the central business district. You can meet people, as you're making it about, on, in the streets, man. You know what I mean? In the shopping areas, you know, um, taking a walk, and you can have regular, ordinary conversation, and if she's into you, you can exchange phone numbers, and if she's not into you, you just go your separate ways. It's not a battlefield, and that has been my experience. Just it's not a battlefield. Um, there's there's still a great appreciation for the domestic things, the feminine side, gender roles. Um, it's a patriarchal society, so yeah, men are still held to male expectations, women are held to female expectations. You know what I mean? And it is what it is, and you just have to sort out, and it's not hard. You sort out the good ones from the ones who are not so good, man. But they're much better. To your question, oh yeah, they're 10 times better, hell, 100 times better than American women.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Um,
And
incredible. Oh,
see, brother,
mm,
and that's one of the things that made it hard for me to leave, because um, it is just to have that pleasantness, and it's like, um, you know, men are not meant, men and women, heterosexual men and women. This is just my conviction. I think this is just a natural thing. This is biological. It's so many things, man. You know, the heterosexual man and woman are supposed to be together. This single stuff that you see in Western societies that is pushed and promoted, and all this independence on the female side, you know, and I don't need a man. That stuff is unnatural, bro. It's unnatural. Yeah, it's a product of an artificial environment, and a bad, the underside of Western values. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree, bro. I mean, I don't want to get too deep into it, but a certain group of people that push that, but I
Yeah.
can't get too deep into that. And they're responsible for a lot of the gender war in the West. So, brother, great stream so far.
Yeah.
Awesome, bro. Brother, where's your channel? I said put your channel in the chat so we can share it. Your YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
It's up to you. It's up to you if you don't want to share. I don't know. It's up to you, bro. If you want to share or not.
Okay. Okay. It's cool. I mean, the brothers know where to find me.
Okay.
Yeah. But we good, man. We're good with time, man. We're good. Yeah.
Okay. All right then. So brothers, call in. Okay. Call in if you want to ask guests a few questions. Okay. Call in. I'll put a call link in the chat over there. Okay. So now, this is a great stream so far. So let me ask this right. So do you see yourself moving to Kenya permanently, or are you trying to establish some sort of base in Kenya, or living in the America as your main base?
Yeah. So I would, and that's something that I'm working on right now, man. And so it's like, I have it's a long plan, at minimum 10 years. And right now, I'm in between. I'm just in between these two countries, and sucking up as much knowledge about, Kenya, as I possibly can. You know what I mean? And also building a network. That's another thing, man. I just dropped my channel in the chat. And building a network, man, that would last for a very, very long time, and so right now, man, I'm just I'm building um, I'm building something, you know what I mean? But I'm playing a long game with the country, man, and really kind of East Africa, broadly speaking, you know, and getting, I have not been to Tanzania or Rwanda, and I want to do that. But get better acquainted with East Africa, man, and again, do more networking and everything. So I'm in. I'll put it like this, man. I'm in this is the early. I'm in the early stages of this, and so I'm building the plane as I fly, as I fly. You know what I mean? So if that makes any sense.
Awesome. That's great, man. Awesome. All right, brothers, call in. See the channel is on the screen right there. BMI 3000 Reloaded. Go check out the channel. Go subscribe to it. We will be getting guests. We will be getting guests back on in the future. But in the meantime, go and check out his channel, check out his content, subscribe to it, and check out what he does there. Awesome. This is good, man. So this is good. It's good to I mean, the more we can get Western men, particularly Western black men, interested in Africa and Kenya, the better. Again, I don't want to be seeing non-Africans, non-black people, particularly that particular group of people that gatekeep a lot, just
Mm-hmm.
in Africa doing what they want to do. So
Yeah.
show me Africans in India that are millionaires. Like what
Not
really
yet.
pisses me
Oh,
off is that,
okay.
I look at the rich list for Caribbean. In
Mm-hmm.
Africa, I see Lebanese, I see white, I see Indian. I look at the
Mm-hmm.
Lebanese and Indian rich list, so I see no black people. At this point
Okay.
in time, the BS got to stop. Um, you
Yeah.
know, if you,
Yeah.
if you want to, if you're looking down on black people,
Mm-hmm.
go back to your country. That's
There
how
you
I
go.
see it.
There you go. No, and I agree with you 100%, man. And um, I think, and I told O'Shea this. I did a stream with him when I was in Uganda, um, and it was called Pan Africanism Without Romanticism. So O'Shea asked me. So before we did this stream, but O'Shea asked me because he knows, my affinity for Africa. He says, he says, do you consider yourself a Pan Africanist? And I told him this. I said, well, I wouldn't come out and say I'm a Pan Africanist in the kind of classical or traditional sense, but I say if I'm going to use that language, I would say I'm a Pan Africanist without, romanticism. And what that means is that, I see, I don't have this kind of fuzzy kumbaya idea about Africans coming together and stuff like that, or people of African descent. You know what I mean? I know that we're human, we're flawed, we have interests and all that kind of stuff. And I say that we have to find a way to work together, and despite our differences, um, and to be honest about in terms of our dealings with each other. You know what I mean? So here's the thing, man. So Kenya, man. Kenya is I would say particularly for black men, and it's a great place, man. It's just it's a nice fit. You have people who like to go to it, and I don't down people who are there. Like you have Ghana, you got South Africa. At some point, I'll visit Ghana. At some point, I'll visit South Africa. But like from American perspective, those have been the two kind of main destinations for African Americans, Black Americans, Ghana and South Africa. And I'm like, Africa, we've got 54 countries in Africa. You know what I mean? And um, and I'm like, Kenya is untapped. You know, I remember when I first went, when I was first in Nairobi, my first trip. And like I told you, man, I was there for over a month and a half, and for a month and a half rather. And I told you, man, I was like, wow, this is untapped. You know what I mean? And I'm like, no one is talking about Kenya. You know, and I was making videos about, like I said before, I went to Kenya. I went to Gambia and Senegal, and I did some videos on my channel about Gambia and Senegal and everything. Uh, talked about my dating experiences, in those countries. Um, but East Africa, Kenya in particular, is untapped. Um, oh yeah, and I didn't mention, then there's Brazil. You got the brothers who go to, as you got some brothers all who are only interested in South American countries. They're only interested, um, if it's not South American countries, maybe Central America, whatever, or parts of the Caribbean, particularly the Dominican Republic. You know, and some guys they want to go to Venezuela, they want to go to Peru, they want to go to Colombia, and that's fine, and that's fine. Um, but man, don't sleep on Africa, man. I say don't sleep. Particularly, here's the thing: if you are a man like me, my preference, I like all kinds of women, you know. Um, but my preference is, women who look like me, you know, and then more significantly, I like being in a country where I'm surrounded. I love it, man. Surrounded by black people, man. That's the beauty, man. When you're coming out of a country like where I live right now, you know, I can walk out and I live in a relatively mixed kind of neighborhood, but they're mostly white people where I live and everything. And it's not hard to run into them. And I get along with the whites, you know what I mean? I have no animosity towards the whites or anything like that. But they control everything. They control all the businesses. You know, where I live, blacks are employees. You know what I mean? That's it. We're just employees. All right. But when you go to an African country and you walk into an establishment, you walk into a bank, okay? You go into a bank, and the manager, everybody who works in the bank, okay, is black, okay. Um, that's powerful to me, okay. And you go into their municipalities, you go into government buildings and whatever, and everything is ran by the black people. You know what I mean? Um, this is that kind of vision. What you see is what kind of you know black nationalists kind of dreamed about. You know what I mean? With black people. Now, of course, you know everything isn't owned by black people, but it is a powerful thing to see black people um, in large numbers um, being at the center of how everything moves and works. You know what I mean? And so I love it, man. I love being surrounded by black people, man. I just love it. And there's there's so much that is vibrant um, about that. And like I said, um, Kenya and many African countries, but we're talking about Kenya, man. They've maintained their vibrancy, you know, and like I said, they party, family is still important. Talking, human relations, still important, you know. Um, I remember, my first trip there, man. The night that I guess the night after I arrived at my friend's compound, they had a big barbecue, you know, and we were just out, man. Me and a whole bunch of guys, and there were ladies there, but me and a whole bunch of grown men sitting in the middle of a yard, they're barbecuing, and we're drinking, and we're just talking, just men, okay, just having man talk, okay, like six of us, and I'm like, man, this is powerful. You know what I mean? And all these guys, these guys are engineers, these guys are professionals, they got families, they're movers and shakers, correct? And I'm like, it's hard for me where I am to get a lot of that. I got friends who do things, but they're in different parts of the country and stuff like that. I don't see them a lot or what have you. But to be somewhere where that's like a common occurrence, it's normal. You know what I mean? And the culture supports it. It's not like I say, Western society is so broken down in terms of individualism and in terms of people being isolated and people being cut off and stuff like that. Removed from their families. You got a lot of family fragmentation. You know, um, you have a lot of people who are living, just by themselves, man, and have no social networks and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But you have parts of the world, you know, like Africa African countries where they have not quite been overtaken, even though they have technology like we have technology, and they're influenced by westernization like everybody else, but you still have that kind of those traditional ways that keep things um, in balance, man. And that's invaluable, brother. That's invaluable, and that's where your mental health is right there.
Facts. Absolute facts, man. Absolute facts. Yeah, I agree. Um, any callers, brothers? Yeah, y'all want to call in and and speak about Kenya, your experience, or any questions for our guests? Now's the time. Or we can leave, or we can let our guests go, and you can have an early night. So let brothers, I'll give your brothers 5 minutes. No callers, no questions, super chat or PayPal. We'll let our guests go. So Mr. Beerman, I want to say
Yeah,
thank you very
yeah,
much here for sharing your Kenyan experience. It's awesome. It's awesome seeing Austin and Kid Greatness out. I'm not sure if you know who they are, but
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, they're out there, and I hope they do something big with Kenya, because I'd rather
Mhm.
see black people, whether you're Black American, Black British,
Yeah,
Black Jamaican, whatever,
yeah,
thriving
yeah,
in Kenya than anyone else who's not Black.
yeah,
That's how it is. That's how the world is. We have to root for ourselves and for our own. It's just how the world is. So hopefully they do something big out there, because no one else rooting for us.
yeah.
No white person rooting for us. No Indian rooting for us. No
No,
Chinese. None of that. They ain't rooting for us. Right.
no,
Right.
no.
They're just not. So
Mhm.
we got to root for ourselves and for our own. So big up to those two, and I want to see them do
Yeah,
great
yeah.
things out there.
Yeah, and let me say this, man. I want to say this in regard to those guys, and I'm glad that you know they're making names for themselves, and everything, and being conscious about how they're moving. You know what I mean? And I would just say to the brothers who are thinking about going, who actually go, you know, um, treat treat Kenya, treat these countries, but we're talking about Kenya in particular, man. You treat this like you treat it like a precious jewel. You know what I mean? Treat it like a gift. When you go there. Um, Honestly, I was a bit concerned. Um, when that there was some stuff on TikTok. And with one of these guys who was over there, who had offended some people in Kenya, and calling himself a passport bro and everything like that. And I was like, you don't want to sully or ruin the reputation of black men who are from the U.S., who are from, as you say, the black Brits, the black Jamaicans, who are regarded as foreigners. You know what I mean? You don't want to do that. And um, you want to um, be careful. In how you conduct yourself. You know, Kenyan, like I say, Kenyans are a welcoming. They're a welcoming people. You know, and I would like that to remain that way. You know, and and you be a good caretaker of that. You know what I mean? And don't like some guys. I mean, you don't want to walk in there like you're some conqueror, some conquistador or whatever. You know what I mean? And you just want to pillage or whatever. You know what I mean? That's not the best way to approach it. We don't want that type of um, stigma or reputation. Um, Kenya is, man, it's a great place, man. For black men, I just think that black men need to tap into it and what have you. You don't want to turn it. Here's the other thing. Um, Ghana, you have a whole expat community in Ghana, of Black Americans who are there, and which is cool. And the Ghanaian government has gone out of its way, to bring Black Americans over, to be welcoming towards them. Okay, but the expats. Here's the thing, man. You don't want to. We don't want to. We don't want to be like the Indians. I put it like that. We don't want to go there and create, little expat communities, um, where we're cut off from everything and everyone. Not to say that that's how most Blacks are moving in places like Ghana, but they do have that kind of element, and there are some tensions that come out of that. So I mean, we don't, Kenya is wide open, and I would not like. I want Black men to discover it. You know what I'm saying? It's cool for Black people in general. If Black women want to be there, the world is, is open. You go where you want. But in terms of a place for Black men, I'm talking about a place where their Black men can embrace, where Black men will be welcomed. Okay, Kenya is just, it has open, its arms are open. Okay, and so what I'm saying is that we have to treat it with respect and care, and not turn, and not create a little America, in Kenya. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what, at least that's what I hope does not happen. I wouldn't want to see that happen. To create little American colonies and stuff like that, or whatever. In an African country. That would, again, that means we're no different from the Chinese and the Indians and everything like that. And it's not to say that we shouldn't. No, we should network and interact and everything like that. But you want to embrace the culture, learn the country and the culture, man. Learn Swahili. I tell the brothers, if you're gonna do it, like me, I'm beginning a process, man. That's the language. If you're gonna be there, learn Swahili. And respect it that much. It's like brothers who go to Brazil or who go to Colombia, frequently, and they don't learn Portuguese or they don't learn Spanish. I mean, it's kind of strange to me. You know what I'm saying? You spending all this time in Colombia, and you've been going back and forth for years and years and years, but you don't speak Spanish. You know what I mean? I mean, what? I just, to each his own. But I think you and your audience understand what I'm saying.
Facts. Mr. BM, I don't think there'll be any callers. I want to say thank you, bro,
Cool.
for coming on here and sharing your experiences. We'll get you on in the future, but we've got some plans there, and I'll reach out to you in the back scene, okay?
Sounds good, brother. Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate all your work, man, and just hosting me. I enjoyed this conversation and sharing with the brothers, man. And anytime, man. So I look forward to us, chopping it up in the future, brother. So you know where I am, brother.
Yes, indeed. Before the brother goes, make sure you go and subscribe to BMI 3000 Reloaded. Check out the channel, the content, subscribe, watch it. We'll get him back on again. But in the meantime, go and support the brother's efforts on his channel. Thank you very much, BMI. We'll speak soon, okay?
Okay, man. Take care, man. Peace out.
Peace out, bro. Peace out. Great stream, okay? So once again, Python course, yeah, I got until Saturday morning to join. We start class this Sunday. Looking forward to it. Bring your laptops. I'll be teaching you Python. Japan stream, Japan, Germany, Ibiza Spain coming end of this month or February. Okay, I've got a huge backlog of streams I need to get out of the way. Then I'm gonna give you the real. Okay. Now I'll be honest with you, Vietnamese women 10 times better than Japanese women. And I will still put Japanese women above American and UK chicks. But I really think that brothers need to think twice about, is Japanese women the right choice for you? Now we're seeing Japan in the live stream chat. I'm telling you, right? Like, it's changing rapidly. Okay, I'm meeting Japanese chicks. I don't like their mentality. Quite a few of them, a good amount of them, are literally 3 or 4s. Literally 3 or 4s, right? And you never know unless someone tells you that they're 3 or 4s. They hide it so well. They dress conservatively. You know, they cover their chest, cover their legs. Literally no skin, right? But these women are hardcore. Some of them 3 or 4s, and I saw it in Japan in the real time, and I see it in the UK when they come over here. It only takes someone to tell you, "Hey, IP, you know she's a 3 or 4. You know what? Hey, IP, I smashed her multiple times, and she told me her backstory." That is a common thing that I'm hearing about Japanese chicks, right? Again, why am I telling you that? I know a bit more Japanese now. I know I'm more in the culture. Now, I'm not saying give up in Japan. I'm not saying give up in Japan. I'm just saying, right, okay, have options. Japan is still a better country than UK and America, etc. But a Japanese woman best for you. Now, I'm gonna tell you how to find wifey, who I believe you should be going after when it comes to Japanese chicks, right? But I'll tell you, avoid Osaka. Osaka has 3 or 4 haven for Japanese chicks. And you know, I'll tell you this right about Japan. Great place to live if you have a foreign wife there. So bring your Russian chick, bring your African chick, bring your Vietnamese chick over to Japan. That is a perfect scenario there, because you know it's a safe country. Most Japanese guys prefer Japanese women, right? That is a standard of beauty. So I would say bring your foreign woman over to Japan if you want to have a peaceful life, right? Just think twice about Japanese chicks. And also the white worship amongst Gen Z Japanese women is off the chain. Again, I'm going to expose everything, right, in my upcoming Japan stream. Okay, I'm going to expose it. I got a lot to say. Okay, I have a list of things that that I need to just get off my chest, right? Because they're different from the 80s and 90s. They're different. Do you know what? That's a fair statement there, Kevin. Not as feminist, but definitely as promiscuous. If you don't know what you're doing, don't simp in Japan, or you're gonna end up marrying a 3 or 4. That's bang Jap dudes and foreigners. Um, Luckily for me, I have actual discipline. I can spot. I can spot 3 or 4s. It's the stenches on them, right? And I keep away from them. Okay. So great stream. Yes, they are the master of hiding it, man. You never know. And that's what I'm saying, brothers. Like, you know, for me personally, like I'm starting. I want to get more with my sisters, man. Be more with black women. I think the problem with me was that, you know, like when I was younger, I was only attracted to black women, right? I'll be honest with you. Then I started being more mixed crowds. Started seeing the beauty of other female races, and I started having a lot of attraction towards East Asian women. But seeing how much they white worship, Chinese women are no go for me. Chinese women are some of the biggest white worshippers you come across. Like, how many black guys do you see with Chinese women? Not a lot, bruv. In my time in the UK, I've probably only seen 2 or 3 or 4, right, black guys with a Chinese woman. They're, those are one group of women that I will tell black men to avoid, particularly if you're dark skinned. If you're light skinned, there's a small chance, but still unlikely, but a small chance. If you're dark skinned, Akon, Kanye West complexion, whatever, you ain't getting one, bruv. You ain't getting one. Those are for white boys. Like, and in the I honestly, so any white dude that is somehow single or struggling with women, I'll just tell him to just go for a Chinese woman. It's easy, the white wash there is of the same. Like I mentioned, Korean 50-50, but also I was in Korea, and also this is us speaking on the Discord, right? I was in Korea, almost a year ago, almost basically a year ago, and yeah, the white worship there is insane. Younger Chinese, no, bro, Kevin, don't lie to yourself, bro. Now, Kevin, I'm gonna be real with you. Like for me on this channel, we don't cap here, okay? I think that we made it very clear. Whether she's older Chinese woman, younger, whatever, no, avoid them, bro. Again, unless you're light skinned, the only few black men that I know that are dealing with Chinese women happen to be light skinned black dudes. I've never seen in masses dark skinned black dudes with Chinese women. Yeah, maybe once or twice, but even though, right? Whenever I see a dark skinned black dude with a Chinese woman, she don't look good. She's not the kind of woman that the average Chinese guy wants or the average white guy wants. She's basically busted. And I'm being real here, right? Like if I see a dark skinned black dude with a Chinese chick, right, more than likely she's busted. She's busted, bro. Let's keep it real. She's either overweight, she's got a funny looking face, she's got odd shape. Let's keep it real, bruv. The good looking Chinese chicks, the high value Chinese chicks are not thinking or going for black dudes. The possibility of them dating a black man isn't even in their brain. It's not even in their brain. Avoid Chinese women at all costs for dating. You won't get one, bro. You won't. Like literally for every, so if you were to like 500 Chinese women on Hinge or Tinder, one will get back to you. One at the most, one at most, 0 at least. Forget Chinese women. It's not happening. Korean, again, I wouldn't go for Korean. They're definitely very white worship heavy. I was in Korea last year. I saw white skin whitening products everywhere, adverts everywhere to skin whiten. In the nightlife, I saw white boys cleaning up with with Korean chicks, left and right, bro, left and right. And I saw brothers just sipping their drink alone in the corner of the club, in clubs. Yeah. I would admit that the Korean nightlife is popping, right? But it's still the white man's territory. If I'm honest with you, right? If I'm being brutally honest with you, IP. I don't like to cap, man. I don't like to cap. Japan, even though it's still white worshipping, okay, is the best country in East Asia for black men. Yes, I did see black men with good-looking Japanese chicks. I did. The thing is, gotta know Japanese, have to know Japanese. You have to go to certain spots to find quality Japanese women. You won't find them in Shibuya. You won't find her in Roppongi. You won't find her in Osaka, which is 3 or 4 Haven. There's certain spots in Japan. If you really want a Japanese wifey, you gotta go there. But still, you gotta vet, because Japanese women, they know how to hide their actual history. They are the masters of that, bro. Okay? They are the masters of that. Minato girls. Is that Osaka 3 or 4s? Yeah, they are the masters. So again, I'm gonna break it down in my upcoming Japan stream. Just make sure you're following me on Twitch and Kick. Twitch and Kick. Okay, make sure you follow me on there. You will get those streams. Taiwan, I'm still getting intel on Taiwan. I'm hearing some good intel about Taiwan, but again, the Chinese ethnically. Right? They Chinese ethnically, if I'm honest with you. Okay, so Taiwan, I'm a bit on the fence. I need more intel on Taiwan. Hong Kong, I'd avoid. Again, Chinese ethnically, huge Chinese influence in Hong Kong, I'd avoid. White, that's for white men too. So Vietnam is up and coming. I think Southeast Asia, if you're into Asian women, but me personally, I want to actually be more in touch with my black side. I want to get back to liking black women a lot more. I think it's just best for me, if I'm honest with you. You know, I'm trying to be realistic here as a dark skinned black man, right? You know, in the UK, right, it's so hard to get an Asian girlfriend. So hard, man. It's really hard, bro. Like years. So I think for me, I want to be realistic here, and I want to start loving. I've always loved black women, but along the way they treated me, the fact that I was nerdy, studious, and a high value black woman never showed me love. That really messed me up big time. But now I see Africa is there. I see Caribbeans there, South American black woman, potentially Blasian, half black, half Japanese. But there's problems with Blasians that I will discuss in my streams. Some of them are a bit off, But yeah, I want to indulge more in black women, I just feel like, and it's the fact that these Gen Z Asian women, they're the biggest white worshippers, bro. Like, so you see the Blasians who are alive today, right? The Blasian women, right? That we see quite a few. That means back in the day, East Asian women and black men was a thing. Nowadays, it's hardly a thing. The Gen Z Asian generation, a good amount of them are white worshippers. If I'm honest with you, and if they're not white worshipping, they're worshipping Korean dudes, right? Like, and Japan, yeah. I wanna start, yeah, just get more in touch with black side, black Brazilian people. I think it's better for me, you know. Facts. If they're not F with you, don't F with them either. Facts. Because the love that brothers were getting in the 90s and 80s in Asia, it's diminishing, bro. If I'm honest with you. Like, if you go on Instagram right now, how many black dudes do you see of East Asian women on Instagram? You don't see it, bro. And these are good looking East Asian chicks. No ugly chicks. Not no ugly chicks. Go on Instagram right now. Go on your feed, right? Try and find an Asian woman dancing with her black boyfriend. You don't see it that much. It's there, but it's not common. And if it is, right, understand it's an Asian woman that Asian men don't want, right? It's Asian women that are tattooed up with crazy piercings. They look weird, right? And it's Asian women that in some cases are fat or ugly, or she's not ugly or fat, right? She's got tattoos and she has piercings. Why are black men pulling this kind of woman? You know, why are black men pulling these kinds of women? If I'm honest with you, bro. Yeah, Teddy, the phone is open. Is it not pinned? I swear I pinned it. Yeah, feel free to call in, bro. Like, you know, and for me, if I'm going to date out my race, right, I want a decent looking chick. I mentioned before, I don't want a 10 out of 10 chick because that brings problems, but a woman that's decent looking. And a lot of black dudes in the West don't pull decent looking Asian chicks if they manage to pull one. And that's something that has to be discussed, bro. Again, I don't like to lie to brothers. So I want to go where I'm wanted. And that's why I'm trying to give you brothers more options in Africa, South America, and Asia. Vietnam is a spot. And let me tell you about Vietnamese women on average, from what I'm seeing, are better looking than Japanese chicks. If I'm honest with you, check out, the I think there's a very popular Vietnamese singer in a very popular band. I can't remember her name. And she's quite good looking. You know, she's quite good looking. You know, and I'm seeing that a lot of Vietnamese chicks, they rock with us, man. They rock with us. They do. Now, I'm not saying give up on East Asia. I'm just saying know what you got to do. Know how to move out there. Know where to go to, because you don't want to end up marrying a 3 or 4 that's been ran through by dudes, in clubs in Shibuya and Roppongi. Vietnam is looking like it's gonna come up next. And shout out to Ramel for dropping that intel. Like, we have to understand it, in East Asia, they worship white skin. You know. Yes, very true, Chimay, very true. 100 plus. Yeah, I think it's cat, but it's true, bro. I actually know one. I know a Japanese woman that has 100 plus body count, and it's been confirmed to me by other dudes that have ran through her, right? And she told them a history. Facts. Cheating culture. Don't worry, man. In my streams, we're gonna break it down, man. It probably will be a 5-part stream because I have a lot to say. But again, I don't like to lie on my channel. Again, this is my opinion. If you disagree, you are entitled to disagree. You really have to know what you're doing. Let me bring in Teddy in the background. Okay, what's going on, Biden, bro?
Oh, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, bro. You good?
Oh, wait, there's noise in the background.
I
Can you hear me now?
I hear you, bro.
Yeah.
Teddy, you good?
Yeah,
Teddy, Mr.
I'm good,
Pitt,
and I'm trying to see if there's echo or anything is okay. Is it okay?
it's cool, bro.
All right, all right.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Are you Canadian?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm from Boston, right? I grew up in Africa, West Africa, and I was brought by my parents to the United States. I went to school here and grew up here, so that's where I'm at. But I heard someone talked about Kenya earlier, right? And I see that you currently talking about uh, how you've been treated in Japan and all those Asian countries, and now you're getting to realize that you want to touch into the African continent. And I've been early into that, and I wanted to push the narrative and push brothers to go toward that, because I've been looking at this thing the same way that you're looking at right now when I started traveling. And I was like, am I gonna go to Japan? Am I gonna go to uh, Europe, Poland, and all this stuff? I've been watching your channel and everything and studying, but I pushed that last for me because I wanted to go to Africa and see what was going on. And I had a great experience there. So Kenya was my first country, actually, right, that I traveled to. And I had a really, really good experience there. So I wanted to share that with everyone.
Okay. Awesome,
Yeah,
brother. Thank you.
no problem.
All right. Thank you, Teddy. Appreciate you, brother. Teddy, I think Teddy, let me know if you want to come on the channel for your Kenyan interview. Again, my IG is always available. So send me a DM, bro, okay?
Yeah,
Okay, brother. Thank you, bro. So
no problem.
as I was saying, right, brothers, right? Like I just want, like the West is I think I go to a stream on that. I don't want to go too deep into it right now, but there's there's a stream, right? There's a stream. Sorry, there's news about a brother. Did you hear about it this week, 2 days ago? A brother actually deleted someone, right? In a SCHOOL. It was a brother. Apparently, he was a black, white. He thought he was white, but he's black. It's on my Twitter page, right? Right, check out. Okay, and I think I want to do a stream on that because, like, a lot of black men are mentally going through hell, right, in the West. Okay, and we have to address the problem that we have here. Okay, lack of dating options, lack of power, lack of great image, right? Lack of self-esteem, lack of black CEOs is really doing a number on the mental health of black men. When a black man turns on the TV, he don't see the black Bill Gates, the black Elon Musk, the black Jeff Bezos. He sees rappers, he sees Keisha's twerking. He just sees dysfunction, right? And then if you're a nerdy black man, if you are a nerdy black man, oh man. Woo, oh boy. Good luck. If you're a nerdy black man who plays Yu-Gi-Oh, Beyblade, high value black women don't want you. Right? So there's a lot of forces, a lot of things going on that are affecting black men. And it's affected me, if I'm honest with you, to the point where even though I got good grades, but I was a nerd, the high value black woman didn't F with me for many years, bro. So you kind of lose love for your own race of woman when they don't rock with you. Type one, if you agree. If the high value race of your own woman do not rock with you, you're going to lose interest because you're thinking, I can't get a black girlfriend. I can't get a black girlfriend. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it. Let's keep it a stack. Let's keep it 1,000. Let's keep it a milli. Let's keep it a billy. Let's keep it a trilly. Let's keep it facts, man. They're not. And black women were my number one choice And you know what? It's been very hard for me to try and push my like. I'll be honest with you. I like Asian women. I do. I like East Asian women, right? But my access to them as a dark-skinned black man is low because I feel like me being a dark-skinned black man rules out a lot of East Asian chicks. Like, literally, you know what? Literally, right? Okay. And I know this might sound crazy, but in the West right now, black men are falling behind in the dating scene. Let me tell you the top two men that are killing it right now in the West. White men and East Asian men. Let me tell you, right, brothers. East Asian men that I know are cleaning up with good-looking Asian chicks, good-looking white chicks, good-looking mixed race black women. A lot of mixed race black women are on that K-pop tip, but a lot of you brothers will not accept the truth. Some of you brothers, oh, IP, BBC, bro, BBC, IP, IP. We got BBC, bro, BBC. Shut the flip up, bruv. Shut up. In the West, East Asian men, bro, in the UK, in America, and Canada, they're doing better. Very good in the dating scene. The dating apps listen, the dating apps that they've showed me, bro, women are literally falling over their heels to get these Asian dudes. And that's what happens when you have a great image. I'm keeping it a stack. A lot of you, listen, rap and that BBC stereotype is over, bruv. It's over. The average woman, right, in the West wants a white guy or an East Asian guy. I'm seeing East Asian men with dime women around my way. And some of you both won't accept that. This is why this passport bro movement. This is our last. This is our last chance, bro. It's over. It's over in the West. It's over. East Asian men have options because of K-pop. They have options of their own woman, of course, Korean. But a lot of when I was in Japan last year, right, a lot of Japanese chicks I spoke to love K-pop and love Korean dudes. I could not believe it. I'm keeping it a stack. A lot of white girls really like East Asian dudes and K-pop, and a good amount of black women who are good looking, the nerdy type black women, but they look good. They want an East Asian guy too. Some of you guys won't accept that. And when I say Asian, I mean Korean, Japanese, Chinese, Hong Kong. Let's keep it real. That's why we gotta get out of the West, man. It's over. It's over. It's over, bruv. It's over. Black men have lost their spark in the West. The only Western country or territory that black men have some good play is number one, Vancouver. Vancouver, like I mentioned, is a glitch in the matrix. I don't know what's going on in Vancouver, but Vancouver is a whole different world, right? San Diego for my hair in America, Seattle potentially, and that's it. Only 3 territories in the West that black men do good in. Why don't you have your passport? Only 3 territories in the West that black men do good in. Vancouver, Seattle, San Diego. It's over, bruv. It's over, man. It's so over, bro. It's over. It's so over, bro. And those who say IP capping, listen, right? Okay, if you're a 6'5" black dude, right? If you're like King 6'8" the Great, yeah, you do well because you're an anomaly. The average black guy is 6'5". But I speak for average black dudes, right? I speak for nerdy black dudes, and most black men are average. And I know that's hard to believe because we see NBA, right? We see NFL, we see the top genetically high value black men when it comes to genetics in these sports. But that's not every black man. Let me make it very clear. So yes, 6'5" Tyrone, that's at a PWI university, would do well with women because he's 6'5", right? He's tall. If he's in the gym, he's got muscle, of course. But I'm telling you right now, bro, average black men have lost their shine in the West. The top two men that are doing well from in real life perspective, because I live in reality. I'm out there. I'm speaking to people. Okay, I'm speaking to people. White men and East Asian women are having a blast in dating. The other day I was on the bus. I see this. No, this is me saying. I'm just saying the facts, man. I'm just saying, brothers, get your passport because it's over in the West, right? I'm on the bus, right? East Asian dude sits next to me. He pulls out his phone. He talks to his girlfriend. I look at his phone. Girlfriend is some white chick, and I give her an 8.5 out of 10. I was like, what the brothers, you don't know what's going on, bruv. Right? You don't know. Because what do average black men offer in the West? We have a bad image, we have no power, we have no influence. Forget rap music, forget that BBC stuff, bro. Oh, IP, we got BBC. IP, we got BBC. IP, women love our BBC. Forget about that BS, bruv. Nowadays in the West, women see your image. When they see a Korean guy or an East Asian guy, they see first world countries. They see first world countries like Taiwan, first world, China, first world, Japan, first world, Korea, first world, Hong Kong, first world. They see a black dude, not a single first world country, not a single company that exports services or products all around the world. Korea has got Samsung and K-pop that we use all around the world. Japan got anime and Nintendo we use all around the world. China, TikTok. Okay, let me tell you right, just how strong the Chinese East Asian soft power is. TikTok was banned last week, right? Was it not banned? Right? And then people actually went to another app called Red Note, another Chinese TikTok. And guess what? The people there started learning Chinese. White women, black women, Latina women started learning Chinese to use a Chinese app. That's how you know we've lost in the West. China is running a lot of things, bruv. Chinese people are running a lot of things, bruv, in the West. And women see that and they know that a lot of these Chinese men got the bag and the image and a first world country and CEOs and products to back it. We don't have that, bro. Women of a foreign nation learning Chinese. Some of you guys are asleep. You're asleep. Tell me what language, right? Actually, let me put you on blast. Tell me one African language that women want to learn so bad. Tell me one Caribbean language that women want to learn so bad. No, tell me one black language that women want to learn so bad. Crickets. That's how you know we have lost the soft power and image in the West, bro. But I can tell you thousands, if not millions of women that want to learn Japanese, Korean, and Chinese. A lot of women they want to learn Korean. Tell me one black language that women of all races want to learn. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. I'm just telling you facts about the harsh reality in the West. Tell me, if women of all races want to learn Korean, do women of all races want to learn what's the African language? Ethiopian? Do they want to learn Ghanaian? That's how you know that black men have lost the image and the propaganda war in the West. Funny how none of you guys in the chat mentioned that. Funny how none of you guys in the West, okay, have told me one African language, one Caribbean language that women in the West want to learn. I give up in the West. That's why it's not worth dating in the West unless you're in these free territories. If you want to be in the West, you want to be in Vancouver, San Diego, and Seattle. Anything else, I don't recommend. I don't. If I'm honest with you. Those free territories, yeah, okay. There's a possibility there. Or else you are gonna suffer dating in the West, bro. And guess what? I don't want to see young black men crash out like this, like the SCHOOL shooter earlier this week. I don't want to see that, bro. I don't want to see young black men crash out. I don't. If you want to be in the West, make your way to Vancouver, San Diego, Seattle. Vancouver, number one. If you're not in Vancouver in the West, don't stay in the West, bro. Get your passport. Some of y'all need that hard reality, man. Some of y'all need that hard, harsh reality. I'm gonna keep it real. I see the way women look at me in the UK. I see it. It's a look of anger, disgrace. As a black man here, ew, a black man. I see it. But I see the way they look at Asian men and white men as if they're gods. They want to get them. Let's keep it real, bruv. The way they look at me. I'm telling you, man, you need to have strong mental powers to live in the West, bro. I remember I remember last year, bro, on the bus stop, right? I literally sit down, on the chair. Asian woman looks at me to her right. She runs away. Oh wow! Look at that. Seattle is also tough for black men. I see a lot of alone. There you go, man. So even Seattle's tough for black men. And something I noticed that a lot of black men are always walking alone in the West. Press a 2 in the chat if you agree. In the UK, I see a lot of black men walking alone, but I see a lot of white men and these Asian women. They're always with women. I never see a white man or an East Asian man walking alone, bro. Have you noticed that? But I see a lot of black men walking alone. I ain't crazy, bruv. I observe stuff, man. Press a 2 in the chat if you agree. They always got a woman. The white man or the Asian man. The black man is always walking alone, bro. He's always alone. In most times. That just tells you that we ain't got like that in the West, bro. We ain't got it like that. We ain't. And some of you brothers, right, need to understand the harsh reality about physical appearance. You can be a clean-cut black dude, educated, but you have features that a lot of women don't like. it might be your skin color, your skin tone. It might be your face shape. And everyone, we are all physical creatures. We are all creatures that, that that image is very important. A woman may like your personality and how that you're educated or whatever, but how you look is not appealing to her. Your skin color isn't appealing to her. You're too dark for her. Let's keep it real. So some of y'all need that wake up call. That's why you gotta get your passport, man. Damn, look at that. That Asian woman running away when they see a black man happens in Seattle too. Y'all said that was crazy. Y'all call me crazy though. Asian woman running away from black men is a very common thing in the UK. Also in Seattle. Hey, Jules, Muzz, bro, we need to touch base on IG, bro. Okay. We got to touch base, brother. Okay. Facts. Let's keep it real. Astro Kid is true. Let's keep it real, bruv. Black skin tone, no shape, hair texture. Most Asians don't like. Let's keep facts. Listen, it's not you, bro. It's not how you are. How you are. How you are. It makes it, how you are. Right. You're fine. You're a nerdy black man. You're intelligent. You're fine. The problem is, it's just how you look. And guess what? You can't control how you were born. You can't control how you were born. Right? You can't. That's why I got my passport. Right? I don't know about that term there. G's, is that a foreign language? Because I ain't on that time, bruv. So again, I'm just keeping it real, man. Keeping it real, keeping a stack. IP always keeps it a stack. That's why, again, for me personally, I want to get to know more black women, more Latina women, and more Southeast Asian women. Because putting so much effort into a group of women, right? Putting so much effort. You mean brother, Jules? Putting so much effort into a group of women that are not giving you a lot of play, bruv. Time goes, man. Time goes. Yes, Kuma. Yes. Yes, that's it, bro. Yes. That's why I teach IT. Yes, get out, relocate. Yes. Absolutely, bro. Because the way it's going, the West is the white man's and Asians' dating territory. Black men, college black men that I speak to in the UK are having a terrible time. They're telling me that the dating scene in universities, white men and Asian men are doing very well. The Asian man is doing very well with the K-pop image at university. Some of y'all just won't admit that. Oh, BBC. Oh, BBC. Shut up. Nah, stop it. Right? I'm trying to wake you bros up. Wake you bros up. Trying to wake you bros up. Thank God for passport, bros. Thank God I got my passport, man. It really saved me, man. It really did. It's over in the West. It's not right to be living like this, man. Going years without a woman. That's what our brothers are going through, man. It ain't right. It ain't right, man. I'm about to drop off in a minute, get some sleep. But you know, the brother who deleted someone in that SCHOL, sad, man. Sad. Sad that he for himself. Sad that he went for a lot of self-hating. This is just too much, man. Can you raise kids in the West? I'm dropping off, yeah, brothers. Peace out, yeah. Speak soon.